I want to talk about water metaphors very briefly. Water. Water sustains us, it nourishes us, connects us. You know, 60% of your body is made up of water. Earth is made up of about 70% water. That's a pretty close connection that you are water. You are the earth. I say that. Those connections are there. Unfortunately, only 2.5% of that water is drinkable. But let us remember that you are water. We are waters. Our bodies are akin to water, just as the earth. We grow 9 months before entering the physical world. Land emerges from water, mirroring that same life-giving process. I got the wrong notes up here. Hold on. I printed out the wrong thing. It's like a bad dream right now. But now it's 10 font, so uh-oh. So it's no surprise. I'll have to ad-lib a little bit. John Newton, in his song Amazing Grace, he found the God of his understanding as a result of water. It's a transformation story, a story for the ages. John Newton was a part of the transatlantic slave trade. He was a slave trader. And one night, there was this violent storm that came upon his boat, and he thought his boat was going under. And he didn't know what to do, so he decided that he would give prayer a try. And imagine the lightning and the thunder and the waves and his boat crashing back and forth. He says a prayer. I don't know what he said. But when the sun broke the next day, he was a changed man. He quit the slave trading business, became a preacher, and that's where we get the hymn Amazing Grace. How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Blind, but now I see. Water can transform. And you know, water goes back to the ancient times. And because there are a lot of Jewish Americans who have woven water into the fabric of scripts in Hollywood, if you study Judaism, you understand the story of water. The Israelites crossing the Red Sea, being chased by the enemies on both sides, going toward freedom. And the water parts, this separation from the land to the water, to the new land, to the promised land. These aren't literal stories, these are metaphorical stories. But water represents rebirth. We come out of that sacred amniotic fluid. It's nothing really so spectacular to think that water is that powerful when we swim around in water for 9 months. It just is who we are. It's a part of who we are. It's not spectacular to know that after you take a shower this morning, which I did, amen, I took a shower and I feel a lot better. Taking a shower makes you feel better. Going to the beach, getting in the pool. There's something about water. There's a consciousness in water. So the Hollywood directors know this. And I pointed this out, and once you see this, and I preached this before, I'm going to probably keep preaching it because I don't know anything else to say, but when you see the character going through a transition in a movie, they will inevitably experience water. It will rain. They will fall into a pool. It will be snowing. And from that point, the character becomes something new. That is the hero's journey that Joseph Campbell talks about. This is a deeply embedded symbol in our culture. So water communion is important. In the Bible, the same thing happens. Jesus goes to get baptized, and the writing is interesting because it says he came up out of the water. And then he looked to the heavens, and a voice said, "This is my son with whom I am well pleased." And his ministry starts right after that. Don't get caught in the literal. It's the metaphor. But I guess it is kind of literal too. That water does something to the soul. I had an epiphany or an awakening once, and it was during Wendy Winters, when Wendy Winters was murdered at the Capitol Gazette. And I remember sitting outside, and it was raining and windy, and I was working on her memorial service, and I just kept saying, "Man, it's windy out here." And I just busted out laughing. And I said, "Wendy." And it was raining. And don't you know, you can't make this stuff up. Don't you know that that service was the thing that catapulted my ministry to a whole nother level? And she was on my search committee. You can't make this up. So if you become aware of the power of water in your life, you'll begin to appreciate it more, and you'll also do more to fight for justice for people to get more water. Because there's so many, especially in Africa, who don't have water. And in my tradition, the African American tradition, the hymn "Wade in the Water." Wade, wading in the water. God's going to trouble the water. The water standing for freedom and justice and hope and never giving up. Powerful metaphor. Wade in the water. God's going to trouble. Justice is going to trouble. Freedom's going to trouble, because you won't be at peace until it comes for all of us. And as I like to say, I'm a living example of that. For your ancestors in Ireland or wherever y'all came from, Germany, they can tell that story too. It's about not giving up, having hope, wading in the water. So we celebrate this water communion today with these water metaphors, and we bring water from many places, some from the tap, some from far, far away. But water is life. Water is life. Ted Lasso, football is life. Water is life. And so let us celebrate this life, this holy struggle, this journey of consciousness together. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. You can say God's gone, or you can say justice, the water, or you can say freedom or love. Wade in the water, oh, wade in the water, children, in the water. Justice gonna trouble the water. Okay, so please rise in body or spirit. It's your time now to come forward and bring your water.